Hey everybody, here we are in week 7 already. I'm going to scroll down to October 1st, where you guys will see that we've got several things going on this week. One, responding to artist presentations again. Step 2 in Museum of Me will be due October 13th, and we're looking forward also to midterm. That includes test essay questions that you can look for later today. Those will be due October 13th as well. So we've got a couple weeks here of a lot of things going on, but a lot of it will end on October 13th. So let's go ahead and check in on week 7, what's in store. Here we are in chapter 4 with drawing. This is a huge component when we look at any of the mediums, whether it be painting, printmaking. It's really the foundation of what we're thinking about as far as how idea development can occur and how expansive drawing can be. And that's why I'm asking, does viewing Kara Walker's work change your view of drawing? How are these cutouts drawings? Please go into Tsai, Chinese artist's work on the several different performance pieces. This will give you snippets of some of his extraordinary works full of power and ingenuity. And please answer the question on the discussion board if you think that this power can be conveyed in a gallery. I'm curious how this kind of performance art translates into other spaces. How does it live on? And how does that power, that extraordinary use of space and time gain or lose power after the performance? Then we're going to jump into the Renaissance. This really is a huge point for us to start talking about humanism and how we have developed an aptitude for questioning. So please dive into that chapter on the Renaissance, and this is a great video. It's 11 minutes, so it's a little bit lengthier on how people are thinking about humanism. And then think about how that's relevant today. Dive into a museum here, visit the Vatican virtually. And I want to see if you guys can find this touch right here. See if you can locate some of these iconic pieces found in the Vatican. Then please answer those questions, respond to questions from last week, take note of what your peers are saying, and then please look forward to the October 13th deadline of the next Museum of Me part. Unexpectedly been in my hometown, Buffalo, Wyoming, visiting Sheridan College. I went to a gallery just in the little downtown Sheridan, Wyoming called Sage Arts, and it's got two components to it. One is a little local gallery shop selling a lot of local art and goods, and the other is an exhibition space that featured these works of a pastel exhibition. Now, pastel could be considered painting, it could be considered drawing. It's much dispute, but I think that we could just conclude that it rests in its own little terrain. So this is putting pigment directly onto paper, using something that's similar to chalk in appearance, but very different in consistency. It is very different than chalk. So you can see that little room next door that's full. And here's a little snippet of that little space filled with these regional art exhibitors, all in pastel works. In thinking about curating or putting together a show, these two pieces really stuck out to me as being very different examples of how pastel can be used. This one is very painterly, meaning you can see the stroke, you can see the abstraction of form. It's very much about the application of the material. Now this other one I'm looking at here is photorealistic. It is a trompe l'oeil example of how we can push material to fool ourselves into thinking that this is more of a photograph, or more realistically, an apple that you could just reach in and grab out of that setting. This, to me, is something that's very challenging to get in pastel, and this artist has executed it so well. And these two pieces sat right next to each other. What a beautiful contrast to see how materials change from work to work, and how artists can really use their materials to convey different emotion, different lighting, different ideas by this very specific kinds of application. I want to review again something that is due next week on Monday, the museum group tour selection. So look over in this button panel to the left. You'll see the museum group tour. Click on that and you will see all of the museums that I'm suggesting from the virtual tours available on Google Arts and Culture. That's something we talked about last week. What I'd like you to do is go through week 6, check out that virtual museum tour on Google Arts and Culture that I linked to, and select a museum that interests you. You can have up to 4 people in one category, so you may try to sign up and get kicked out of it. That's probably because it's full, but make sure that all of these are available. So make sure that you select something that challenges you and pushes you and excites you at the same time. Picture of what I just experienced last couple of days here in Buffalo. The first snowfall that really stuck, and I hope you guys are having a great week. I'll be in touch with you here shortly about test questions that will be due October 13th, and please keep me posted if you've got questions or and such. I'll be doing a lot of grading over the next couple of weeks, so you'll be able to know exactly where you're at in the class, and we'll be able to get you caught up if you're not. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.